Welcome back to my channel. The last time we started with how to explore structured data and make the data of good quality. So we continue with that to look at more functions. Now another heuristics that one of the Kaglers decided to do is to look at the ticket and look at the ticket attribute. Visually, you could see that the ticket attributes has some like composite numbers, values. You see some numbers and you see some kind of prefix before that. So based on heuristics, the author feels like it would be good to actually separate that into separate column, separate attribute. And so we created a function which is the ticket item, uh, the ticket number, and then ticket item. And both of them is supposed to work on the ticket, I believe. Supposed to work on the ticket. So let's look at those functions. So the ticket numbers, what that does is that it splits whatever comes in, which is x, based on space, and it takes the last token in that split. So for instance, let's say in this scenario, let's see what did they use the ticket number. Okay, that's on the ticket number. Okay, so that's on this. It's applied both on the ticket, right? So both on the ticket. So ticket attribute. So let's say we have just this. Of course, this doesn't have anything composite. So if we apply that to this ticket number, what will happen is it will just return the only element that is there. The only element that is there is just the last number. So ticket number, it takes it as a string, so it assumes it's a string, and if we apply that, it will just return this. We split it so there's no space, and it will just put this element back in a list, and that will give us just the one element there. So it just gives that back to us. Okay, now let's look at another value there in the ticket, like this one. Okay, so I believe this has a space in, so if we put that in with the space, let's see what this gives us. So this has a space in between, so this will return 34068. Okay, that's just the last number, so that's what that is doing. Now similarly, the ticket item, I don't know why I actually had to create two functions to do that. I don't think it's actually necessary. Let's see why. Okay, so you now have the ticket item. It has to take this, okay, and it splits that. So it's checking if the length of the item is just equals to 1, it returns none. Okay, but after splitting it, this is going to give us a list, and if the length, there's just only one element there, so it's assuming that it's only the last part that will be there, like something like the numbers only. So I think based on its heuristics, it's sure that it's not possible to just have like ca dot soton without the number. So it's sure that whatever is there will be the number if it's just one item, but if it's more than one item, it will be the number and the prefix, based on heuristics. Yeah. So now, so if it's just one item, it gives none. But if it is more than one item, what it does is it takes all the other elements in the list that have been splitted, okay, excluding the last, because this negative one means the last item. It joins them together using the underscore. So let's see an example for the ticket number. So the ticket number, let's run that, the ticket item, and if we are putting this into that, what are we expecting? What we're expecting is this is going to take it as x, it will split it based on space, so we have a list containing this and this, and after splitting it, the length of the item will now be 2, so this will skip. Now what it will do is it will exclude this last, then it will join whatever is remaining there, which is just only this, and it will join it with a underscore. Since it's just one item, I think there won't be any underscore because there's no second item. So let's see. Yeah, so it's just only one, and that's all. Yeah, so that's what is being done, just to split apart the two. I think that heuristics might not be too much, the code might not be too much efficient if you only have something like this there, and it's not efficient. So this one return WC. This is not efficient joining anything, because if all of them are like this, except if there are some more values that have a different pattern, and of course if it's only one item that is there, let's say we just have only this item, this is just going to return null. This will just return null. Alright, yeah, this will return null. I think I should have just moved this down so that we'll see this close to our function. Yeah. Okay, let's move that down close to the function so that we can see that we can go up a little. Good. Okay, so now we could optimize this. Instead of having to have two separate functions, we could actually have one single function to do that. Yeah, could just have one single function. So this one could just be only, if the length of this is 1, just return this item, and if it is not 1, return this join, as it did it. And when applying it, you just try to break it apart. So let's see the application. So the whole entire program is this. So this is the whole thing, and what it does is it takes the data frame. So let's see the whole application. Okay, back in here. So now First is trying to do a deep copy of this, meaning it doesn't want to tamper with the original data frame, and we have explained all these functions. So it's now using the apply method to just apply the functions to the data frame values. That's all is being done there. Okay, now it's specifically specifying which of the attributes it wants the function to be applied to. So here is using the normalized name, and here is using the ticket number on ticket item on ticket, and the new return values is using it to create additional attributes called ticket number and ticket item. In this case, is actually replacing the attribute. Alright, and that's it. So it returns the data frame. So if we want to apply it to our own data frame, which is string df, so we just call the it on this, yeah, string df, put it in another place. Yeah, by the time it processes this and we check this, we check the tail again for 10 items, we see that we now have number one, two additional attributes, ticket number and ticket items. You can see here, this ticket number and this is ticket item. You see that the ticket name is the same, it's not overreading, but you discover that the name has actually been normalized. As you can see, the comma, full stop has been removed, and the bracket too is gone, as you can see here. And for the number, you see that it's extracted the number and extracted the item out. Okay, so now if we wanted to optimize this one, you could just do this instead and just have it this way, and you don't need this anymore, and you can just process just this one and all, and you just use one function, which is this. Just process all of them. Let me just say number and item, and you don't need this one anymore, and you can just process ticket number and item just in one sweep. And instead of returning none, what you actually return here is that item, which is just the first one. Just return that single item there. That's all. So this will break it apart. So if it's a number, it will be returned, and okay, sorry, so we need to do this one. If let's see, does that work if we do it this way? Because this one will also be assigning it a value. Okay, just returning one value, so this should actually be returning two values now. Okay, that doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work that way. It's good to test that. So it doesn't work. You actually need to create two functions for it to work properly. All right, okay, good exploring. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next one.